We start off the essence with just a little bit of torture as Shao Kahn is trying to get information out of one of Kitana's servants, as he suspects Kitana of betraying him, and honestly, this is a really strong scene. Jeff Meek really does a great job here of making Shao Kahn as imposing and deadly as he should be.
I doubt my stepdaughter's loyalty. Why not yours?
Because there is no reason.
No reason! Your family dead at my hand. I murdered your king. I crushed your realm. I assume treachery. Loyalty, I question.
I'm convinced the servant is telling the truth.
Shut her up.
But of course, this is Conquest, so we go from that strong scene to...
Well, I thought we could all use a little pampering after the beatings our bodies have taken lately.
Tell me about it.
Oh, Conquest.
I told you there'd be danger.
Danger's one thing. Ninjas falling from the ceiling are another.
Sorry, guys who have fang creatures flying out of their hands.
Or ones that shoot ice at you.
I can't believe I'm saying this. None of that can happen.
Zero, the greatest Mortal Kombat dummy with his head in the clouds.
Tasha, this is great. But can we afford it?
I made a deal with Phelan.
Where'd you meet this Phelan?
In the bazaar. We were admiring the same outfit. Neither one of us could afford it, but we do have the same taste.
So you made a new friend, huh?
Yeah. I guess I did.
Aw, that's so nice. Oh wait, she is just doing it to rob you, which really serves the theme of this episode. Don't trust Kitana. Wait, no, this crap is really irrelevant to the main plot. Whatever.
Step back!
Oh, I broke my toes!
Sorry.
Zero, the you know. So Kali, Kitana's aide who didn't die, fills Kitana in on the sure-to-be hard-hitting news of her servant's death.
Maya is dead. I've known her my whole life. It's just like Khan to attack the weak, the defenseless.
What? I endured torture and was murdered and still never gave you up, Kitana! Yeah, whatever. What have you done for me lately? That was this morning! It's evening now! Anyway, Kitana is looking for the essence of her fallen realm, Edenia, and this is just kinda confusing, as within the game and movie continuity, when Shao Kahn conquered Edenia, it got merged with Outworld. Here it's been turned into an object that can possibly still restore it. Just how? How does that work? What benefit is that even to Shao Kahn? When he gets a realm merged with Outworld, he's expanding his territory, so it makes sense why he wants to do it. Here he's apparently just making them null if he beats them, unless people get back their essence. Sick of that shot yet? I am. And don't worry, it shows up twice in this episode. And of course we know what that shot means. Sungster wants the essence as well to hold it over Shao Kahn and etc, etc.
You, water.
Water. Water.
Why kill a water bearer?
He's a spy for Shao Kahn.
What's the latest news on Shang Tsung?
He killed another one of your men down in the mines.
Oh well, as long as he's still down there.
That doesn't warrant any punishment, Master Khan?
Nope, don't care, as long as he stays in the mines.
You're weird. Oh, and how long do you think it took Shao Kahn to get a skull glass like that? Think it took searching the Outworld department stores a long time, or he just picked one up around Halloween? Cheers!
I wish to leave.
What, does Shao Kahn have the Force?
All too easy.
Oh, okay.
What are you planning?
My plans died years ago.
With your father?
And my mother.
So again, a difference versus the game's story is Kitana already knows her true heritage while she is with Shao Kahn as his adopted daughter. And well, she is quite blatant with her hatred of Kahn, so I kinda wonder why he keeps her around.
You remain my daughter.
Daughter, not lover.
And why did he adopt her in this continuity? In the game, she was loyal to him initially, and why didn't he just take her as a lover if that's what he wanted? I mean, Kitana is over 10,000 years old, so unless she's been really fucking slow to try and get her realm back, she wasn't a child when he adopted her. You're weird.
Shut up, Raiko. No one likes you.
Hey, remember when people thought I might be you?
Yes, that was stupid.
I'm going to turn this town upside down to find that smiling little crook.
I'll help you.
I like to offer help like it's a threat.
Tell me who this Daran is.
I don't know, but if you multiply him by 2, you get a new wave band from England.
Sorry.
But the only tune single Duran is singing is plot convenience.
Go to a man in Juzin named Kong Lao.
Oh, are you sure we should get him? Wouldn't want to pull him away from his wonderfully pointless subplot.
Hold her tight while I search your pockets for her money.
Might be better if you hold her while I search.
Okay, I see why Zero had no problem working for Baron Von Rape now. But hey, Kung Lao and Kitana have finally met, which means we can get going with the Finding the Essence plot, right? Nope, they don't trust her, so it's back to Duran to see if she's too legit to quit. Unfortunately, Duran's breaking up due to a fatal case of being killed.
Who did this to you?
Outworld. The Emperor's stepdaughter.
Wow, that's about the dumbest last words you could have left, Duran. You could have told Kung Lao he should trust Kitana, but instead you make it sound like she's the one who killed you and dropped the little Khan's daughter bomb.
Shao Kahn's stepdaughter. You didn't mention that.
Would you have come if you had known it?
I would have killed you on the spot.
If there's anything I learned by training with monks, it's to make rash decisions based on anger. Pointless fight, padding out the episode.
Outworld is dark, arid wasteland.
I don't believe any of that Outworld crap.
Oh, it's real. Very real.
Well, I'll believe it when I see it.
And I won't believe it after I see it.
Well, I'll believe it when I see it.
You never do.
What?
Her age alone gives her an advantage.
But she's his age.
Kitana is nearly 10,000 years old.
I've got to get her skin cream.
Cause I've never heard of people living extra long. Oh, by the way, I come from some weird bee-like colony of women with a queen that lives extra long, but we didn't think of that backstory for me yet. Yeah, and I live extra long too. Oh yeah, I gotta get your skin cream. So now, obviously very concerned about Kung Lao, Taja and Zero try their hardest to call Raiden.
Raiden. Raiden, we need you. Now!
Well, that didn't work. I'll be watching TV.
Raiden, are you out there?
No. Once again, I say, God, I'm useless. I'm gonna kill you, Kitana! Whoa, I didn't expect you to throw a fan at me. I give up.
Hey, I don't actually like Shao Kahn, yo.
Oh, okay, let's be friends.
Doodaloo, best friends! And so ends that little diversion of nothing.
Shao Kahn's assassins are obviously here. I can't risk leading them to the essence. They will continue to follow me like they did Duran. Let them come, while you move the essence of Edenia.
Why did we let him go with her? I knew it was all lies.
I am an Edenian princess. I do not lie.
Except for that.
Kitana went back to get you.
I followed you. I came to protect you.
Did Shao Kahn send you?
Yes!
Wow, good thing it wasn't you Shao Kahn tortured. Kitana would be fatality to hell by now. But of course, she's actually doing this under some misguided way to try and protect Kitana. It'd destroy their whole fucking realm, but at least Kitana would be nice and safe, fearing for her life under the rule of Shao Kahn forever. Best friend!
Daran? I did not kill him. She's right. I did.
Who are you?
I'm that person you didn't know who surprised you so much that last episode. Oh!
I'll take it.
I'm not worried about Shao Kahn finding I left right now because... aha!
You know you can't fight me. Not until the next Mortal Kombat tournament.
Damn, I forgot your rule waving was only valid until the end of the episode.
If Shao Kahn learns that you've left her Cobalt prison, you'll pay with your life, Shen.
The Emperor will give me his thanks. And my freedom when I present him with the essence of Edenia!
You're supposed to transform into Raiden to do that, Sung. Oh, guess everyone can do that now. You're not special, Raiden. Sung, of course, discovers he didn't really get the essence, and that's another scheme of the week down the toilet. And honestly, Shang Tsung didn't even need to be in this episode.
Do you believe her?
Lying or not, she can't tell the Emperor what happened here. It would be her death sentence, and one thing I am sure of. Callie values her life above all else.
And that's why I trusted her for so long.
Before Shang Tsung burned the vine,
Before he burned the vine?
I took this.
You saved it.
When you told me the essence was a seed Duran planted, I realized it must be the strange vine.
The essence is in the pollen. It can be planted again.
You can plant a realm? I just... okay.
Where have you been? We've been worried sick about you.
Hey, Tasha even tried calling Raiden.
Really? Did he show up?
No. Some god. You didn't even hear me screaming for him.
I knew what was going on and offered no help.
I may have lost an old friend today, but I made a new one.
Will I see you again?
It's difficult. He's always watching me.
Maybe if I changed my face or something. Are we looking at each other, or is Kitana really enthralled with the building on the other side of the street?
She's a remarkable woman.
You know Kitana?
Many years.
That's why I waited until she left to appear. What a bitch. Bros before hoes, Kung Lao. Bros before hoes. Shut up, Raiden.
I went from wanting her dead to believing in her cause completely.
Really easily. In fact, I didn't even need to go through the wanting her dead bit if I took 2 seconds to listen to her. Yeah, you really caused your own problems for the whole first half of this episode. Shut up, Raiden. Suddenly, reptile stock footage be. Then we learn Vorpax is reporting directly to Shao Kahn, which is going to lead to nothing really. She'll have a completely different allegiance when it actually comes to leaving Shang Tsung, so this little setup is just completely dropped.
Let me show you my loyalty.
You can't be useful.
Yes, but more. So much more.
Talk to the hand, Vorpax. This episode does serve as an alright introduction to Kitana, though I think it could have been a lot better if the Sung trying to get the essence plot had been dropped and Shao Kahn played a more active role in the episode. It could have focused more on Kitana and Kung Lao trying to get the essence without being found out and played up how dangerous it was. Because as the episode is, it starts off with a strong intimidating scene from Shao Kahn, but then he just kind of sits on his throne and gives people a stern talking to. This is also, unfortunately, the only appearance of Dara Tomanovic as Kitana, as I think she brought a stronger presence to the character than her successor, Audie England, who we will actually first see as Melina, who I actually think she does a better job at. There was nothing special in regards to the fights in this episode, and Kung Lao's martial arts double was painfully obvious in a few shots. Also, Taja and the greatest waste of time character clearly had nothing to do in this episode and just meander around. Also, that realm inside a flower thing is just confusing. Overall, it's an alright episode, but it had the potential to be much stronger if it focused on its main story and cut a lot of the pointless subplots and fights that didn't lead to anything out. Next time on Conquest, it's fan service surprise! Also, major character development for the most prideful Mortal Kombat character. And Noob say oily, but whatever.
Raiden. Are you out there?